Pete Thompson, who I sat next to for a good bit on the Sports Bash here, now has his own show. No big deal.
It'd be nice if he came in once in a while.
When you're the boss, man, you make your own rules. That's how it goes. What would be Pete Thompson's hockey name? Maybe he had one growing up.
Oh, probably PT. I mean, PT works, or PD, or
no. You got to have a Y to it. Yeah,
everything has to have a Y in the end of it. Coty, Carty, Jonesy, PD. You know, PD. Score, goal,
you have to emphasize the T in that, though, like PT. No, that's how it is
anyway.
Yeah,
that's true. Josh's last name's fine. I mean, there was. I can't believe I'm about to do this, but I'm going to reveal my middle name on the radio. My middle name is Brooks. And at one point in time, when I was still going as Peter Thompson on the television, somebody said they were going to have me do some news. And they said, well, maybe when you do your news reports, what's your middle name? And I said, Brooks. Bam, Peter Brooks. This is Peter Brooks reporting. Now back to you.
That's kind of funny to hear, huh? Peter Brooks.
Thompson's a pretty strong name.
The Peter Brooks Show on Saturday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. now.
I mean, regardless of what the name is, and John McMullen will attest to this, it's so early in the morning, and you might have been there, Broads, I think, when I forgot the name of the show and started laughing to myself because, I said, John McMullen, our guest here on the Sports the Pete Thompson show.
On the Sports Thompson show, and also calling Hunter me a few times early on.
That's definitely a thing. He stopped doing that, though.
Well, come on. You're both youthful. You both have beards. You both wear hats all the time.
That's
Forget
true.
about it. It took like a month, but I think I'm cured of that habit.
There you go, man. But we're glad to have you on here. We're filling in, obviously, as you know, for MG. Eagles, man, what's your takeaway? What's your initial thought from that win? Because there's a lot of different ways you can look at it.
I mean, I guess I'm glad I didn't go to bed. I was literally contemplating going to bed at halftime. It was so
don't blame you
bad. I cannot tell a lie. I did take a little tiger snooze at one point in the third quarter when things started to turn around. Michael did not wake me up. I was just kind of over there in my chair sleeping away. And then as I did kind of come to consciousness, that was where the Eagles were getting back into things, and I thought, my dear Lord, they may actually tie this thing, and they did. And then, of course, you're thinking, oh, God, I don't want overtime. But, no, they put the pedal to the metal and, won the toss. We want the ball. Great. March right down and get her done. I mean, boy, the Giants are bad. You got to know Ertz is the only option, really, that he has out there. And who thought Boston Scott? I saw a certain somebody on a Philadelphia TV station this morning talking about that it was a Boston and a Dallas that came through down the stretch. I thought that was a pretty good line.
Oh, thank you, sir. I learned everything from you. Now,
yes, cheesy, and then on television, even more cheesy.
That's right. It's the way to go. So, a tale of two halves, as Josh put it earlier, and it's a nice win, right, for the fans and the city, and it's a great comeback, and you finally see Carson Wentz this season take this team, sort of will them to a victory, especially with the personnel around him. But as you mentioned, PT, they were in that situation because of how awful they looked in the first half. So how do you balance that? At the end of the day, are you happy with that win, or are you still concerned moving forward?
I mean, how can you not be concerned moving forward? I will say this, that was the best Carson Wentz has played, and he did finally, because he was, I think, now one of the times they didn't even get the ball, but I think they were like 0-3 with him in overtime situations. So it's not like, Carson Wentz has gone out and been this follow me, boys, or, just get me to the plate, boys, like Ryan Howard said back in the day, right? I mean, this was the first chance that he had to prove, and those were challenging conditions. So, I mean, I thought Carson Wentz did show me something last night. That said, this team is so bad, it's like, you take it. No, you take it. Well, we're terrible. Well, we're terrible, too. The division is just brutal. And I don't think, I did see right before I came on with the guys, Darius Geis is going to be out there in D.C., so maybe that's a plus, but I wouldn't put it past them to go down and just vomit all down their chest at FedEx Field. Would you?
No, certainly not.
No, definitely not.
You painted a good picture there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, the one thing I was thinking of was when we got the coin toss in our favor and the Eagles got the ball first, my reaction was, we're going to win this game. I actually felt that in my stomach. Now, when was the last time I thought that this offense was good enough to actually march downfield and score a touchdown? Like, I believed it. PT, how did you feel when they won the coin toss? Did you know that they were going to go down and do it like I did?
Oh, no. God, no. No. I just
Am I that crazy?
No, it's not that
Momentum
you're crazy.
was there.
You just don't have enough Philadelphian in you. You didn't suffer through like the Rich Kotite years. You didn't suffer through a franchise that was so inept they put Pat frickin' Ryan at quarterback from the construction site to under center. Only in Philadelphia can that happen.
There you go. So the defense, absolutely abysmal. I mean, Eli the statue, he only got touched 2 times, both by Vinny Curry, if I'm correct on that.
Yeah, and touch is the right word, too. I mean, Vinny Curry literally put his hand on his back and whoop, down he went. I mean, look, but I'll say this, God bless him. Eli can still sling it, and he was over there. He found something that worked, and clearly it wasn't Ronald Darby. I was really lighting up Ronald Darby on Twitter last night. I had
Were you? You were letting him have it?
Well, he just was awful. He was the worst corner out there on the field. And then when I hear stuff today, like I couldn't believe that Sidney Jones made a play. And when I hear John McMullen say he wasn't even supposed to be on the field, they were looking for Craig James, I'm thinking to myself, holy cow, that's just typical, But he made a play, and that's something that Ronald Darby really didn't do. I even tweeted Sidney Jones from the outhouse to the huge play there, and then let's see if number 11 could deliver, and he did.
This is right up your alley, PT. What did you think about the broadcast? It's been a hot discussion here on the show today. I feel like you're going to have a nice take about this one.
I was all over it. Booger just called it Lincoln Stadium. Please make it stop. I mean, listen, that guy was awful. And then between him, back to you, Tess. Tess who? Tess Bacher? Tess Sparks? Use the guy's goddamn name. I mean, his name is Joe. Why do we all have to have nicknames? We're not playing the sport. Tess, Fuss, John, use a name, Booger. First of all, the greatest tweet I saw all night last night is, I still can't believe that a grown man calls himself Booger.
I knew this would get PT going.
That is a legendary name.
What are you doing?
No one knows.
Let's talk more about me.
Yeah, let's talk more about you. No, so plenty of Eagles. We could keep talking about that, but how about some Phillies talk? Because Garrett Cole allegedly has been offered a monster deal from the Yankees. The details of that offer have not been released yet. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but that's the last I saw. And
no, that's still the same. Yep,
still the same.
A big deal out there.
Yeah, and Wheeler has been added, I think, since last time we spoke with you. So
that's official. Zach Wheeler's in house. I mean, look. I want that gig where you go out and cover the winter meetings in San Diego, but really you're just hanging out in San Diego and occasionally staking out the lobby, I mean, I did read a long article the other day about now that they've spent this money on Wheeler, what are their other needs or what's left? And I know, I saw some stuff from Scott Lauber talking about it. I read a big article on The Athletic from Matt Gelb talking about it. They don't – unless they're going to push the luxury tax, they don't have a ton of money left to spend. But that said, they did focus on the starting rotation, which was their biggest mistake last year. So I'm okay with that. They didn't sit on the hands. They made a move, and sure would be nice if they had a guy like Rendon come in, or somebody like Didi. That'd be fine too. But they might get outspent, which is inexcusable to me. Just spend the money.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more moves. I really do, because there is some rule. I'm not 100% sold on what exactly it is, because it gets so deep and heavy into the finances of the luxury tax. But if you only go a certain amount over, you're only going to have to pay about $4 million extra. And to John Middleton, that's really nothing. And with Jake Arrieta coming off the books next year, there is room to, okay, maybe we only go over for this 1 year, and then once Arrieta's off the books, that's a big portion off of it. And not only that, there's some discussions about maybe moving a Gene Segura over to the Chicago Cubs to maybe move around to Chris Bryant. There's so many different ways the Phillies can attack this, and I really believe in John Middleton. He seems to be putting his mouth where his money where his mouth is. He is dialed in to win again.
I'm okay with that as long as he doesn't have to hold another press conference and call himself a potted plant. I mean, my God. It's funny you should mention that because I have the rule right here. It says the Phillies' payroll is approximately $188 million. For luxury tax purposes, that's $20 million shy of the $208 million threshold. Now, they could agree to exceed that, but the way it works is there's a 20% overage for every dollar it spends up to $228 million. So, yeah, like you're saying, they might be willing to go over for a year to make something work, but, maybe not for more than a year because, quite frankly, you don't want to go long-term going over and just keep paying. You don't have unlimited amounts of cash, especially with the way the attendance has been in the last 3-4 years.
Breaking news, PT. The Redskins have played.
Didn't I say that?
I don't know if that was official. Josh just showed me a tweet that it was official.
I got it from John McMullen, so that's as official as it's ever going to be.
Oh,
Josh he retweeted it before I came on.
Okay.
Ryan, are you telling me that you go to Adam Schefter over John McMullen for your
I went
NFL
to Josh.
news?
I defer to Josh. I don't know. He showed me something. I read it.
In defense, Pete, you didn't. I don't believe you said injured reserve though. I believe you just said he was out.
Yeah, 24 minutes ago, our own John McMullen, 97.3 ESPN Eagles insider, and follow him on Twitter at JF McMullen, tweeted 24 minutes ago, HTTR have shut down Darius, how do you say his last name?
Darius Geis.
For the season. Yeah, so he's done. He's done.
There you go. He's done. Injured
That was
reserve.
good enough for me. I didn't need any Shefty tweet. If my man Johnny Max tweeted it, that's good enough for me. And by the way, I hope all this sucking up to John McMullen is going to make sure that he's on the Pete Thompson Show, which you can listen to every Saturday morning, including this Saturday from 8 until 10.
Oh, Pete, you'll be
See
here?
what I did there? Yeah, I'm coming in.
All right. He'll be here. What do you got planned? Too early to tell, right?
Breaking news.
Who didn't know I was going to be there? Who just said that?
Who do you think said it?
I thought it was Hunter.
No, it was Josh.
Hunter is sitting back laughing at everything right now.
Right. Yeah, Josh, I'll be there. I'm going to be there this Saturday, and I'm going to be there next Saturday. And then the two Saturdays
next Saturday
after that,
these are the two most important Saturdays for you to be here, Pete.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll bite.
So.
Why?
Well, because this coming weekend will be the first Sunday that I have off in a couple weeks. So I actually get a day off.
Good for you.
So
Yeah.
That's
I would like to not come in after I've just gotten over being sick. Next Saturday is important because we have the Christmas party, and I would like to be able to sleep in until my normal time instead of having to get up early to come in and do the Pete Thompson Show. Although I love the listeners and everything, Pete, it's your show, and I would like the Pete Thompson to be on the Pete Thompson Show because you are built for that show.
Thanks, buddy. 100%. We'll book it right now. We're publicly saying it on the radio, so that needs to count. I will be there this Saturday. I will be there next Saturday. Both Saturdays I will be there. Now, I will also say on the radio that then the following Saturday, which is the 28th, I will be at the Flyers San Jose Sharks. So not only will I not be on the radio, I won't even be in the state. I'm going to be in California, and the Saturday after that, I'm going to be taking a red-eye back from California. So those next two Saturdays, Josh, shine up the buckle, warm up your lungs, take a lozenge, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, you got the big Flyers West Coast trip, PT. What are your thoughts on the Fly guys?
Hey, you know what? There's another tweet I just sent back out. NHL on NBC put a tweet out that said the top 10 in this week's power rankings. Do you agree? And I click on the thing like, who are these yahoos talking about? 1, Capitals. 2, Avalanche. 3, Bruins. 4, Flyers. Wait, what? 5, Penguins. 4 Flyers, 5 Penguins. The Flyers are ahead of Sid the Kid and those jerks out west in the power rankings. And I just thought, holy cow, this is what happens when you have the winningest month of November in franchise history. I heard Hunter talking about TK being out. That is a tough loss. Got his bell rung, a little concussion, going to miss some time. Of course, they do go to the Avalanche next, and they're no joke, especially at home. But look, Elaine Veal, as Hunter has been saying, is pushing all the right buttons. He's getting production out of guys. Both Carter Hart and Moose, Brian Elliott, have been effective. The D-men, Niskanen, Justin Braun, they sat Ghost for 3 games. Effing great. It's about time. You don't produce, you don't play. I don't care who you are. So I love that. And I think he's pushing all the right buttons. They've been hot.
Absolutely. It's been fantastic to watch, and they have a tough stretch coming up. You mentioned Colorado. They also have the Wild, who have been playing just great hockey, and then after that, the Jets, who after a crazy offseason and lost pretty much their entire team, it seems like, and their entire blue line, they're playing great as well. So without Travis Konechny, it's going to be tough, but I saw Tyler Pitlick on the top line in practice today. Levin is doing a little bit of everything here with the lines.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, shake it up. Don't be afraid. Throw some people in there, and see what you get. And but Winnipeg, by the way, in that same top 10 rankings that I've been referencing there, Hunter, they are number 8. So you've got Avalanche at 2, Flyers at 4, Winnipeg at 8. Probably if they went to 11 or 12, the Wild would be included. So forget about it. It's a tough stretch coming up. I just look at it like this. They are entertaining. They are winning games. They're still not selling out the building, because people aren't ready to buy in yet. But they're doing the right things, and I think Vigneault, sorry, I have to say it like
we don't have to do that every time, but it is fun.
PT can overdo it. That's all right. So we had a good convo. I don't know if you were listening, PT, about the state of hockey. I guess that's a dramatic way to talk
100%.
about
I was yelling back at the radio.
There you go.
I'm the old guy, too. Look,
chime
this
in.
is when it ended, okay? Mario Lemieux started it off by pissing and moaning about the clutching and grabbing, and it's slowing down the game. So the first thing they did was say, well, we gotta start calling interference penalties, and we can't breathe on anybody, and our stars need to put the puck in the net, and these low-scoring games are no good. So that was if you want to really boil it back, when Lemieux complained about, the neutral zone trap, the way the Devils played, the clutching and grabbing, the fact that when he came back that he couldn't be the Mario that he used to be, that started it. And then Gary Bettman is really the guy that wanted a more European-style game. And I'm sorry, I'm not Billy, okay, but I'm of that ilk that, to me, the end result, you want an entertaining product on the ice. And so then you have to ask yourself, what is your definition of entertaining? For somebody younger like Hunter, entertaining is fast skating, cutting moves, unbelievable passes, good goals. For me, entertaining can be knocking a guy's teeth out and establishing some dominance in your own end. But they don't play the game that way anymore.
But which one wins games?
Well, both can win games,
it depends on the era. Ask the Broad Street Bullies if fighting won hockey games. You bet your ass it did.
Did it put the puck in the net?
Absolutely. They were much more skilled than people gave them credit for.
It's similar to...
And Hunter, you played. Did they put the puck in the net? The fact that you thought that Schultz might come over and knock your head off, or anybody for that matter, it could have been a Moose DuPont. It could have been anybody who was going to come in and take your head off. Ed Van Emmet didn't matter. Somebody like that was going to come in and hurt you. That just think of the room that people like Reggie Leach got, the freedom. And that's the thing is I fully believe that, and I was with you too, Hunter. I didn't think that was a penalty. I thought it was a hard hit. But that's the thing is Bettman took fighting out of the game. So now everybody's so GD thin-skinned that if you just breathe on somebody wrong, they get their you-know-what in a bunch, and they get all worked up, and, that should be a match penalty and this, that, the other thing. No, it's just a good hit. It's a good hit. Suck it up and play. And there's no policing anymore. There's no, protecting your stars. I don't.
Well, I disagree with that. There were 2 fights in that game, though. So there were fights. And one was Joel Farabee. Now, that one wasn't really a fight, but, there were people dropped there. There were 2. The point is, it's not to the extreme where it used to be where there's 3 people on the bench, like the one year the Flyers played the Senators. It's not going to be that way, but
legendary.
There still is fighting in the game.
That's the Ray Emery year. That's
yes. Let me ask you this, because, you guys are the hockey guys. I look at basketball, for example, and that was a shift in talent and the evolution of the game. So you look at the Bad Boy Pistons and the 90s style of basketball, slow. If you come down the lane, you're getting an elbow to the jugular. And now it's just the game has developed and it's behind the 3-point line, 7-footers are handling the ball. You look at the NFL, and in my opinion, it was more about safety. Where the NBA, it could be more about talent. Where does the NHL fall between those 2 examples?
it's probably a little bit of safety, but it's also just a little bit of like, that's what the commissioner wanted. You know, he was pushing it that way. This is all on Gary Bettman trying to.
But what
make
rule
the game
changes
faster.
did he make, PT?
What rule changes did he make?
I genuinely don't know.
The instigator penalty, if you start the fight, you get an extra 2 minutes.
Okay.
So that is a factor. It stops people
Okay.
from fighting because now your team goes on the penalty kill.
Right.
So there are
Did
factors.
you ever
in there.
notice, too, Ryan, that if there actually is a fight, what's the number one thing people in the stand say? Let them go.
Yeah.
And what's the number one thing the two guys do on the ice? Break them up.
But see,
Right.
I don't think that that's a Gary Bettman thing. Like Gary Bettman's not the only person who thinks that this needs to be. This is just sports in general developing into 2019. So
Yeah.
you can't even touch a quarterback without getting a flag anymore.
Nope.
Like it's the evolution of sports as a whole. That's just how professional sports is going.
Well,
right
the
now.
stars are the dollar amount. They don't want their stars getting hurt. Like, don't put hands on them, right?
Although stars never really fought, though. It was more of the tough
true.
guys.
Well,
stars
true,
in
but-
hockey play,
Yeah.
DNP, coach's decision, or load management. You never see load management in hockey.
No, you don't. So there's still plenty of toughness to go around in the NHL, that's for sure. But a different game
Dude,
nonetheless.
Look at the other guy. What was that? Niskanen that had the two.
That was
pieces of
awesome.
cotton up his nose.
That was
You
unbelievable.
know,
Yeah.
it's not as bad as it looks.
Unbelievable.
That was like so
That was the
unbelievable.
quote of the game. Even said it on NBC Sports Philadelphia on the bottom. Like after the game, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points, right? Whatever it would say.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as it looks. The dude has 3 things sticking out of his nose and bleeding out of his forehead. Yeah, it's not as bad as it looks.
Oh, man. Pete Thompson every Tuesday at 5:15. It's not as bad as it looks either. Right here on the
Right.
Sports Bash. PT, you're the man. We look forward to getting you back in the chair on Saturdays at 8
I'll be
a.m.
there.
8 to 10. The Pete Thompson Show. PT, have a good night, man.
All right, thanks, guys. 2004 for that brawl, by the way. Just go to YouTube,
Ooh.
look it up. There were 5, and then even that 419 penalty minutes in one game. Oh, I miss it so much.